this is our Urban Tango night recap for our first Nuevo Tango All Day in Cardiff, called A Day on the Dark Side, because we're dragging Cardiff down to the dark side. So today featured 3 workshops. The first one was on Soltadas, the second one was on Volcadas and Colgadas, and the third one was on Sacadas, and how to find flexibility in the embrace. So for the first workshop, we started off with some forward ochos, which we could change the size of by changing the amount of step and making it travel around the floor. What we then did was, because the follower is pivoting, we can extend that pivot. So I'm going to twist my chest to the left in this case to cause my follower to pivot. However, if I then extend the motion with my arm over her head, I can turn her all the way around, and she is pivoting on the ball of her foot. So she's just extending that ocho, and then we can continue the ochos. And we can also do that on the other side, and then continue the ochos. So that was our first form of soltada. The second form of soltada we did was, again, from our forward ocho, this time we're going to pause the follower as she steps across. I'm sinking down into my left leg, and then I'm going to twist my chest to the right, which takes my right arm around. I'm going to continue that motion now by taking my right hand over the top. Her feet are pinned in place, so she's going to pivot on the balls of her feet, and then I can continue my ocho. And again, this has the ability to be done on the other side. It's a little bit more awkward due to the arm positioning on this side, and I always said to the followers, be careful not to keep the elbow up to clock your leader as you come back round. For workshop 2, we had a look at Colgadas. So we started off with some exercises by just feeling what it feels like to be in a Colgada. So we've got this hinge into the waist, upper bodies are vertical, lower bodies are together, and obviously our heads are apart, and sinking in and just feeling those positions of counterbalance.
And making sure the leader's hand is on a shoulder blade.
We then looked at this by going into almost an Americana, but I'm stepping through with my right leg, my follower's right leg, and I'm going to step across her to block her motion, which means my hip is blocking her or impeding her motion through. So in order to create space, she has to lean away from me. So we can apply this Colgada technique to the side. So she's sending the hip out, upper body vertical. I don't actually have to lean away from my follower for this. I can center my weight between my feet, and I'm still supporting her on the arm. I can then twist my chest to the left to bring her through. Or we can almost do the opposite of a Colgada, which is a Volcada, where we lean on each other from this. So I'm just going to get into this position by keeping my chest up and kneading this leg around so it hooks on me. So I'm going to lift my chest and move it in a circular motion, which brings my follower around. If I then lean her into me, we get this Volcada position, so she's leaning, and this gancho, and then I can take her out as normal. In that workshop, we also looked at a Colgada, which was more of a spinning type, from, again, forward ochos. But as my follower comes to my right-hand side, I'm going to start turning away from her, as if I'm going to lead a hero. So I'm going to turn to my right. As she takes a side step, I'm going to match her side step with my right foot to block her, and use that momentum to send her away. So she's in this linear below position. I can close my feet together around hers, and we've got this spinning Colgada to come out, take my right foot behind my left, and she steps through. And then in the final workshop, it was a request, because in workshop 1 we also did some leaders double ochos. So this is where the follower's doing forward ochos, leader is mirroring these in the other direction. So using the same technique of twisting the chest, having an arch in the foot, which generates the tension. But we could then use this to make sacadas. So I could step through, instead of stepping to the side with my follower, I could use my right leg in this position to step through with my right leg. My chest is twisted to the right, my foot is twisted to the right, which means that when I step onto it, I pivot, and I go into my odd shows again, and I can use on the left foot as well. We also discussed the importance of either aiming for the standing leg to make the rotation greater, or aiming for the trailing leg to reduce the rotation. If we reduce the rotation by aiming towards the trailing leg, start arching my foot around, I can pivot through and walk and then do another Sacada on my follower's new trailing leg. And therefore we can do these Sacada walks down the route. We then looked at the idea of doing this with reverse Sacadas. So, with the previous Sacadas, I've been walking forward. However, if I take my leg behind and step through, and make sure I transfer the weight onto it, we get reverse Sacadas. So if I do my forward ocho again, and I step through in almost Americana, this makes it easy for me to put my left leg between the follower's legs, she's effectively in the ocho position, step it onto it, she pivots, and we can come out into ochos. We then took it to the advanced level with chained reverse Sacadas. So the key for this is to go into Americana position, reverse ocho, or back ocho, and then back Sacada, sorry, and then into a side step. So here is Americana, here is my back Sacada, pivoting my follower around into the ocho, which I'm going to match with a side step and another Americana, but on the odd side. Then I can take my right leg between my follower's legs, and we can chain these together and move down the route. So I think that covers everything we did today.
Thank you for watching this Urban Tango Nights recap. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the logo. You can find more of our class summaries down here and other videos of us dancing tango over here. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Meetup. Links are in the description below, and you can also subscribe to our newsletter using the link below.